be in the middle.
All right.
Hi, guys.
Is it on? Let's just check.
Aloha.
Let's do this.
We're playing around with the telephone.
Come on.
There we go. Yeah, we're live.
It says we're live.
This is building our audience.
Did it say last? Okay.
Well, we had a problem last time, so we're going to check for a few minutes and make sure that you're really there. But I'm Monique Darling. This is Dave Booda. This is Peter Petersen. And we started a conversation yesterday about polyamory and really got into some great discussions. And it really had brought up a lot of inquiry. And my husband, Nathan, wrote a really beautiful article on how it comes back to being able to change your mind and that we're always changing all of the time. And I'll copy and paste it into a link into this video. But for me, then it was really, really allowing myself to start questioning what's happening.
All right, I'm just bringing it closer so we can make sure the volume is good for everyone to hear.
And the biggest complaint that I've been having around polyamory recently is that it feels like that the way that most of the world defines it is not who I am anymore. And so Dave and I got into a discussion about it yesterday, and I still, that's the biggest question for me, because today I'm feeling much more poly than I was yesterday.
But so it's like an emotion.
It is.
Boy, I've been kind of poly lately.
Right.
Exactly. So maybe that's just it. But the big thing is I don't want to be associated with a word or a type of relationship that's hurtful to a lot of people. And so that's still the conversation that I want to continue having in discussion
do you like
around
the word,
how do we
the word
re-educate.
love?
Do you like that?
That's hurtful for a lot of people,
I agree.
Yeah. I think, it's like ultimately you really, you can't escape the words totally. Sometimes you can pick ones that are better for you, but that's a tough game to try to find the words that won't hurt anybody,
Yeah, words are neutral. It's just your thought about them, your impression of what they are is what gives them positive or negative aspects. So,
the version of poly that I was for the last 8 years is not who I am any longer. And so I've been coming to terms with that, and for a while then it felt like I don't want to use that word. I'm still not monogamous, so what am I? And when we started talking yesterday and Dave was like, well, what if you can just define it as the win-win-win for everybody? Then I started thinking, where are the places that I'm really open? And I've wanted to have tantra temples all over the world for a long time, and I'm like, you know what, that would still work, Peter, because if we have different lovers around the world and we're traveling and teaching and deepening together, and then we have these beautiful people that I respect, they have their own lives, they have their own loverships, and then we get together and we get to deepen in relationship between the three of us, or occasionally the two of them, that would still work.
Yeah.
So why not live in an undefinable place? I mean, didn't you say at the beginning of this year that you really wanted to drop all identities, all identifications of who and what you are, and be totally...
So you're making the case of then I'm not poly. There you go, honey.
Well, you're not anything. You're nothing. That's what I'm saying.
But Dave says poly's everything.
But no, it's not.
Come on, Dave, start jumping in.
Yes, I mean it's I think that it's good that we've just kind of let go of what they mean, and you can also use things and hold it loosely. It's like.
Well, what Nate so astutely pointed out is you are what you are in that moment. If you're really aware of your awareness, you're in flow, you're in flux, constant
where's
change.
Your phone? Can you open it up and we can read
Nate
to these
is
guys?
Usually pretty much dead on accurate about most things. That's kind of how it works.
So can you open it and we can read it to these guys?
All right.
But so what do you think is the gist of, you were excited to make this video, this is a workshop starting in minutes. What do you think is really, what was the impulse to what
it's
did
the
you want to really
conversation.
share about
I
this?
love having conversations with you. Dave, if you guys go look at Dave's wall, for those of you that haven't met him before, Dave's just this amazing being at being able to bring the pragmatism into conversations and is okay with us fighting and okay with you're just you. You're so comfortable in your observations that I love talking about this.
It's because I have no emotions. I'm cold, heartless bastard.
If that was true, then I won't be sitting here. But you're okay. If that was you, you'd be okay with it.
Yeah. I'm just very unreactive in general to things, which But thank you for that. I appreciate it.
So the biggest reason is just because I had so many people write me. I had 13 people write me last night and say thank you so much for opening up this conversation, and that there's so many people in our field that aren't talking about it. And so one of the things that has set me apart is that I've talked very, very vulnerably about my whole journey. And so for me, this is a big piece. And yesterday I was still feeling very jaded about poly, and I feel a little bit better now that we had the conversation. So I'm hoping maybe we can have a deeper conversation with these guys, and you might start feeling better at wherever you stand.
Hey, let me ask a quick question. My friend Dennis Connor wrote something fairly interesting. He said,
a little bit.
"Oh yeah, there we are." Okay. He wrote, "If one is historically non-committer, are they really polyamorous, or are they functionally just polysexual? What's the difference?"
Yeah, I saw that comment. I wasn't really sure what that meant. I mean, I get what does it mean to be polysexual?
Well, you have several different partners to be sexual with, and they're relationships, but maybe they're not intimate, close relationships.
I mean, I guess when I read that and I saw somebody saying, you know, oh, if someone's non-committal, this, it just kind of goes back to a non-committal person is going to do non-committal things, and a committal person is doing committal things. Or, you know, it's like, again, nothing to do with poly, in a way. But
so yesterday I made a post and told people that, you know, we had made this video and got all this response. We're going to start doing many more videos on the subject till I'm not passionate about it anymore. And for those of you that don't know, I've been married for the last 23 years, and my husband's been mostly monogamous while I've been poly. He's a little bit poly, but he's been having all of his own questions. And so when I wrote yesterday about talking about this is what he wrote in response. You know what the difference is between people who are asking those questions and people who are trying to answer them. The people asking know what they are talking about. It's so tempting just to leave that dangling there and let people make of it what they will. But let me just say, asking the question is great. We should probably never stop asking questions. But you can never ever find the answer because there is no one answer. There's nobody in the world quite like me. Therefore, a relationship that works for me will not work for you. My relationship with you will not work as my relationship with someone else. See where I'm going? A relationship's not about me, nor is it about you. It's about me and you, and it's exclusive. All this is to say, the question is not, am I poly, am I open, am I mono? Because a relationship is not about me. The question is, are we? And even when that question is answered, there's one more important element to factor. People change. So necessarily, relationships change as well. So TLDR version, we should ask these questions. We should keep asking these questions. We ought to become really, really good at asking these questions. Just be aware of the trap of thinking that we found the answer, and the even greater mistake of ever thinking someone else has your answer. Because here's the true answer. Never stop asking.
Yeah, it's true.
It's really good.
Totally concur.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think that, you know, and Nate obviously knows you really well, and I think that in a way we can kind of work with our impulse to want to, you know, leave our church, go to the church across the street, or leave our guru and go to the guru across the street. And I think we can work with that because that's a human impulse, and some of us have that a little more than others. And as long as we have like a self-awareness about it, to go like, because I'm kind of like that, you know, but I try to temper it by being like, okay, this is what I'm really into now. I'm probably going to look back in 2 years and think to myself, wow, I'm totally crazy. But I can share my enthusiasm and my conviction for what I believe now, because I was never supposed to be right anyways. I was just supposed to be authentic, and I can continue that way. But it's good to recognize that, like, that yeah, we do that. We're like we trade teams, and then we're like this is it. No, this is it. And then I think a sign of that, and maybe an unhealthy version of that, is then we vilify what we just came from.
Right.
You know, so we go and say, and you know, you see this a lot with people because they're essentially like they're vilifying those parts of themselves. You know, but we go and then we're like, yeah, I don't. Those people are crazy, you know. But it was just us like 6 months ago, you know. And so, I think that we can, if we just take some perspective on it, that helps.
No, it's good to look back, go, hey, like that was who I was, but to have some reverence for it, but to be focused on who I am now and where I want to go, and not to beat yourself up.
But I feel like somewhere along the line, then I got lost, or that people's image of me, like, because here was the thing, is when I finally started asking these questions, all these people came out of the woodwork and said, I've been thinking these things for a long time, but I didn't dare come talk to you because you're the poly advocate.
Well, because when you're into something, you're really into something, and so what they assumed from you was that because you were into poly, that you were not as open to other things, which probably wasn't true, but it's because you're so enthusiastically into something that we just assume that, oh, well, she must like just believe that is the way.
She's got 9 lovers, and she's very open, and she's living her passion, which is connecting and communing with lots of different people, which is great. But Monique has undergone quite the transformation over the last year, and really likes communing only with one person mostly. And that's, and you know, it's a natural ebb and flow of like the tides going in and out. We're going to be constantly changing because we're having different experiences all the time that change our mind.
Yeah.
Right?
What's happening for you?
I'm still trying to figure out how to put into words like what even the question is, but I know it has to do with having the discussion. And so it's still, how can we make it safe for the people in our community to be able to come and talk to us no matter how enthusiastic we are?
Monique just wants
and
more,
not having
she
to
wants you
swing
to come
the
talk to her,
pendulum.
basically. She wants
No,
to make
don't
sure
do that.
She wants to make sure that everybody feels like they can come and talk to her, and I think that's beautiful.
And I'd love to hear like how your relationships are working, and I feel for me that maybe I was stuck and there were things I could hold space for people that were jealous, or people that, you know, felt like I don't ever want open relationships. I'm just happy being right here. And there was still that part of me that was like, but you don't even know what the other side is, what the other choice is. And so maybe that's the biggest lesson for me, is just being more tender with it. We all change.
Yeah.
And just being open.
Never stop asking questions.
And I think like letting yourself just be really into what you're into, and then knowing and being able to kind of have some, you know, self-awareness about it, to be like, yeah, and that's just, it feel like that feeling that you have about poly or whatever, that stuff, like those feelings I think are still there. It's just that you've gained some perspective on it, and so you can still feel the way you feel, and then just kind of add these caveats to add the wisdom piece of like, and I see that this is where I'm at, and you know, it's I'm probably going to change my mind or something, you know, all that.
Well, Dave's writing this really interesting article, and we had a discussion the other night, and so keep your eye on it. But it's about poly and tantra and how the two might not necessarily mix. And there's all these pieces. Like, I just want these conversations happening, because underlying all of the things, the people that have come and talked to me the last few months, and even things that I realized I turned a blind eye to in the poly communities, I don't think they can be happening. And like people coming in and getting hurt really badly by the mentors and the gurus and the places that are abusing their power, that's not going to happen near as much if people are having these conversations. And even the newbies that are coming in, then you're able to go ask questions. We're all talking about it, so there's not like the hidden shadows. That's what I want more than anything.
I agree.
Yeah.
Nice wrap up. That's good.
Yeah. He doesn't try to wrap up.
Well, we got a workshop to do in a couple minutes. But let's plug our thing in Maui real quick. So that is the 28th, correct? In Maui.
I don't know.
Yes.
Well, we're going to do a separate video about Maui.
Well, okay, but the 28th.
There's a thing in Maui. You're not going to want to miss it.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's happening Saturday,
It's a good
whatever
thing.
Saturday.
It'll be in the comments.
From 4 to 9 p.m. You just want to come to Maui and
It's
just do
about
this.
relationships.
Any day they'll be there. Just pick a day and come to Maui at 4 p.m.
All right. We love you.
Dave. We love
you
all
guys.
of you.
We got to go. Bye.